The shutters swinging in the storm winds were the only sign of her entry. No one had noticed her scaling the garden wall of the darkened manor house. With the thunder of the gusting wind off the nearby sea, no one heard her as she shimmied up the drain pipe, swung onto the windowsill, and slid into the second-floor hallway. The king's champion pressed herself into an alcove at the thud of approaching steps. Concealed behind a black mask and a hood, she willed herself to melt into the shadows, to become nothing more than a slip of darkness. A servant girl trudged past to open the window, grumbling as she latched it shut. Seconds later, she disappeared down the stairwell at the other end of the hall. The girl hadn't even noticed the wet footprints on the floorboard. Silent and smooth as a wraith, she moved down the hall. Lord Norrell's bedroom door swung open with a slight groan. She waited until the next rumble of thunder before easing the door shut behind her. Another flash of lightning illuminated two figures sleeping in the four-post bed. Lord Norrell was no older than 35, and his wife, dark-haired and beautiful, slept soundly in his arms. What had they done to offend the king so gravely he wanted them dead? She crept to the edge of the bed. It wasn't her place to ask questions. Her job was to obey. Her freedom depended on it. With each step towards Lord Norrell, she ran through the plain again. Her sword slid out of its sheath with barely a whine. She took a shuddering breath, bracing herself for what would come next. Lord Norrell's eyes flew open just as the king's champion raised her sword over his head. That clip that you just saw is the first chapter of the book Crown of Midnight, which is the second book to the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. This is a high fantasy series about an assassin named Selena. She is a trained assassin that works for the king, and she's basically a lady by day, psycho assassin by night. So, through this book, Selena is trying to work for the king and kill all these people, but at the same time, she's trying to figure out what this unknown power and evil is lurking in the castle. So the main conflict is kind of a man versus supernatural thing, as she's trying to deal with all these people, but at the same time figure out what this evil power is. So the main theme throughout this whole book is identity. Throughout all of the chaos and stuff, as she's killing people and stuff, she's trying to figure out who she is and trying to accept who she's supposed to be. I give this book 5 out of 5 stars and definitely recommend it to teens and adults who like action and magic.